The average New Yorker getting a $4,000 tax cut. Are you against that?
You're embarrassing
Do you want
yourself
to?
right
You want
now.
to cut the standard deduction in
The
half? Is that
largest
what you
cut
wanted
to
to do?
Medicaid.
So I'm not sure if you've already seen this, but Representative Mike Lawler and Hakeem Jeffries got into a huge confrontation the other day. The video was captured by the Daily Caller News Foundation's own Andy Napier, so shout out to Andy. But it was just kind of ridiculous, and Hakeem Jeffries comes off like a total NPC. I think that's the only fitting term. Like he just kind of malfunctions and keeps repeating the same scripted dialogue over and over and over again. So it's quite entertaining.
We got a 1-year extension. Why don't we sign on right now?
Let me ask you a question. Did
Did
you get permission from your boss?
Why don't we sign on right now?
Did your boss, Donald Trump?
You can easily extend
Did your
the
boss-
ACA
did your
right
boss,
now.
Donald Trump,
He's
give
not
you
my
permission?
boss.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. And by the way,
So let me ask you a
why
question.
did you vote to
Let me
shut
ask
the
you a
government
question.
down?
You
Why
know
did
I
you vote to shut it
Let me
down?
ask you a question.
For years, you always
Well,
lectured about how we
making-
need to
you're
keep the
making
government
a,
open.
You're making a show of this to
No,
make
it's
yourself
sad.
relevant.
It's sad. You could
It's
easily
an
sign on to
You're
this.
embarrassing
You
yourself
could
right
sign
now.
on to this. The only
You're
embarrassment
chasing
here is
clout.
you.
You're an
You
embarrassment.
could sign on to the bill.
Let me ask you a question.
You have 4 Democrats on here.
Let me
Why
ask you a
won't you
question.
sign
Let
on
me ask
to
you a
it?
question.
It's a clean
Let me
extension
ask you a
for 1
question.
year.
You voted for the one big
Clean
ugly bill,
extension.
correct?
I voted for a
The
tax
largest-
cut bill that gave the
the
largest
largest
tax
cut-
cut
the
to
largest-
Americans in history,
the
including, by
largest-
the way, the average New Yorker getting a $4,000 tax cut. Are you against that?
You're embarrassing
Do you want
yourself
to?
right
You want
now.
to cut the standard deduction in
The
half? Is that
largest
what you
cut
wanted
to
to do?
Medicaid in
No, we
American
rooted
history.
out
You voted
waste,
for that.
fraud, and abuse, by the
You
way.
voted
Tom DiNapoli, the
for a
Democratic
permanent-
controller of New
Let me
York,
ask you a question.
pointed out that $1.2
If
billion
you're
were
gonna-
wasted.
Listen, you're not going to talk. You're not going to talk to me.
Wasted
You're not
on
going to talk to me
fraud
and talk
and
over
non-New
me
York residents
because you don't
getting
want to
paid.
hear what I have to say.
Oh, I'm
So
listening.
why don't
Go
you
ahead.
just keep your mouth shut?
Oh,
because you
is
showed
that-
up.
is that the way to
you
talk?
showed up. You showed up.
Yeah.
And so you voted for this one
I
big
signed
ugly
on
bill.
for this. You can extend it right
a
now.
permanent extension of massive tax breaks.
You know, the only useful way to analyze this is through the lens of theater, right? These people are performing. There's a circle of like photojournalists and other journalists around them taking videos, taking pictures. And they're both pretending like they're like engaged in this confrontation with each other, but really they're confronting kind of like the media, the public. That's who they're really arguing to here. Okay, so I keep copying Hakeem Jeffries' hand motions because, again, they're acting, and I think it's important, and he kind of is repeating the same ones over and over again. Like, first he had his hands clasped like this, and then he starts pointing, he gets a little accusatory. When we were discussing this video here at the Caller, you know, someone pointed out that if you take a public speaking class, one of the things they tell you is don't point at people. That's like a little bit too antagonistic. Bill Clinton, I think famously, you know, would do the sort of thumb things that he would come off a little more gentle. But Hakeem Jeffries is doing some sort of, I think, quasi-Obama impression of like this measured, common sense Democrat. But obviously Lawler comes out better in this exchange because, you know, for the pure fact that he can articulate multiple points. Like, he doesn't just keep retreating to the same talking points, which for Hakeem Jeffries are, you know, you're working with Trump as though, like, the legislative branch and the executive branch cooperating is a bad thing. So he has that. And then he has, this was the largest cut to Medicaid ever. And it's like, well, okay, but, you know, the Republican premise is that Medicaid was bloated, which it was, and was expanded to include all these people who really did not deserve to be on it. So the percent difference in terms of who gets Medicaid is not, like, actually important if the people that were cut shouldn't have been on Medicaid. Anyway, I'm probably actually overanalyzing this. Again, this is just political theater. This is just a TV show for our enjoyment.
Of
So
Americans,
they can get a permanent extension.
90% of Americans
but working
take the
class
standard
Americans
deduction.
can't? Is that right?
90% of Americans take the standard deduction,
Is that right?
If you had your way, the standard deduction would have been cut in half. That
No
would have been a
one-
massive tax increase
no
on
one-
Americans all across the country.
You're
You support
here,
that?
unfortunately,
You're against
to do
lifting the cap on
bidding
salt?
Of your billionaire donors.
The
That's
billionaire
unfortunate.
donors, lifting the
That's
cap on
correct.
salt, we put a income cap in place.
Why are you here right now?
An income
Where the
cap.
re- where
Well,
the rest
didn't
of
you
your
want all
Republican
Republicans
colleagues?
to be here?
Where
I'm
the rest,
here.
Where are the rest of your
You
Republican
wanted
colleagues?
Republicans to be here. I'm here.
Why are you
And
here?
by the way,
What-
you can
what-
pass an ACA extension right now. Sign
your
on to this
boss-
bill.
Did your boss
Sign
Donald
on
Trump-
to the bill.
Is your boss Donald Trump behind that?
HR 5145. Why don't you get on it?
Mike, is your boss Donald Trump behind that?
Why won't you get on
Because
it?
you don't work for the American people.
Oh, I do. I
You
work
don't
for the people of New
17th
York. I work
congressional
for the
district.
people of my district.
Is that why you? Is that
I'm
why
here.
You got 145.
And by the way, I voted
people on
for a
Medicaid.
clean CR to keep the government open and
Mike,
funded.
you're-
You voted to shut it
You're
down.
embarrassing yourself right now.
Yeah, leader, with all due
Well, as we
respect,
would say
you're
back
the
in Brooklyn,
one,
why you playing yourself?
you're the one
Why you
who
playing
actually
yourself with
voted
these
to shut
theatrics?
the government down.
Actually, you
It's
know
sad.
that's not true.
It's sad. You voted to shut the government down.
Do Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the President?
Right, and
correct?
you're smart enough to know
Is
that
that
you
right?
need 60 votes in the Senate,
Is
right?
that right? No.
Do you need 60 votes in the Senate
Was
or no?
60 votes needed to pass your one big ugly bill?
Is Hakeem Jeffries dumb? He comes off as kind of dumb here. I don't know if that's just my impression. But he just keeps repeating the same lines. You're embarrassing yourself, Mike. You're embarrassing yourself. It's like the one big ugly bill. Is that what your boss told you to say? It's so childish, and I guess that's also a difference in approach. You know, when you have someone slinging I think insults can be fun, but Hakeem Jeffries' insults are not very good. Like, I think a lot of Democrats want to copy Trump's kind of insult comedy nickname style thing, but they're just not good at it, and it just comes off as embarrassing. I was watching, I don't know why I watched this, maybe to torture myself, but I was watching Gavin Newsom on Stephen Colbert. He went on a few nights ago, and his framing of his social media was basically, oh, Republicans are so angry because we're holding a mirror up to Donald Trump because we're doing exactly what they're doing and they can't stand it, you know? And it's like, well, no, it's just cringy because you're not doing it right. Like, you're copying someone very poorly in an attempt to own them. So that's the objection. It's not really that, like, oh, Newsom is being so childish. We really expected more from him. I think the bar is subterranean for Gavin Newsom. All right, so Andy got another good clip from this encounter. I'm not sure how they got on this topic, but Lawler is pressing Hakeem Jeffries on whether or not he supports Zohran Mamdani, who is the Democratic nominee for mayor in New York City and who looks like he's going to win the election. I mean, nothing is settled yet, but he has very good odds based on current polling. Mamdani, you're probably familiar, but he is a member of the Democratic Socialists of America. He actually has so many bad proposals. It's hard for me to name them off the top of my head. He wants city-run grocery stores. He wants to freeze the rent. And he wants to slash gifted programs for children in New York City public schools. So let's watch Hakeem Jeffries kind of try to sneak his way out of this.
Boy, because you're so afraid of Zohran Mamdani. By the way, when are you endorsing him?
By the way,
do you endorse him for mayor?
First of all,
Are you going to endorse him for mayor?
Listen, you're a complete and total embarrassment right now.
Oh, why is that? Because you don't want to answer the question?
Is this supposed to be a video for your failed
You don't want
re-election?
to. You don't want to answer the question. Do you support Zohran? By the way, did you see his
Listen.
statement yesterday?
Listen.
An embarrassment on October 7th, blaming the Jews. You support that? Should he be the Democratic
first of all-
nominee for mayor?
First of all, I don't answer to you. You
Should
don't
he be
even
the Democratic
answer to
mayor?
yourself.
Should he be the
You don't
Democratic
even-
nominee
I'll
for
answer
mayor?
whatever questions I need to answer about
Okay,
the
so you
mayor's
think
race,
his
about
statement
the
yesterday was okay?
First of all,
All right. That's sad.
First of all,
It's on ploy
If
because
you-
you're so afraid of.
First of all, it's like he's not doing a very good job here. I don't know what else to say. That's like the only conclusion from this clip is that Hakeem Jeffries is not good at performing when confronted. I I really wonder if what Democrats think of this performance, like I have to imagine that they know this is bad, right? But maybe not. I don't know. But again, not even coming from my perspective as, someone on the right, but just kind of looking at their rhetoric and how many points they're actually able to get across. Lawler is able to make several lucid points about his beliefs, about Hakeem Jeffries' failures. It's very clear what he is indicting Hakeem Jeffries for. Hakeem Jeffries just can't say anything specific, right? It's all these broad generalizations of like, well, you Republicans, you like Trump too much and you're evil, you want to take away people's health care and you're not working for the American people. It's like just totally unspecific. I think it would behoove Jeffries to pick something specific that he is, unhappy with of Lawler's, but he clearly did not do his homework. That is unfortunate for his career, but very funny for the rest of us. By the way, I absolutely love just the stone-faced observers in the background soaking it all in. Let me know what you thought of this confrontation, though, in the comments section below. Give this video a like, hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Not to point, sorry, I will see you in the next one.